Welcome again to Lockie's Full Lock Adventures. This is Lockie. Welcome back. This is Lockie, Full Lock Adventures YouTube channel. Something a bit different this time rather than the RC stuff. I'm not sort of only interested in RC stuff. I've got a range of things I've been trying to keep busy on. And one of the things I've been wanting to do for a long time now is to grow veggies and fish or yabbies with aquaponics. I'm no expert. There's plenty of people on YouTube that do a lot. I draw a lot of my inspiration from a fella called Bob's Aquaponics. You find him on YouTube. He'll, if you're interested in this, he'll be able to guide you the same way he's guided me. But so I'll show you where I'm up to at the moment. A little hard to get it all in the frame here, but here's your standard IBC that a mate who works on a farm has given to me. So what we'll do is cut from maybe the top there, maybe that round off. I'll cut that off, flip the top side upside down, sit it back on top of itself. Fish, yabbies, whatever will grow in the bottom, and pump will pump up the water into the top, which will be where the grow bed is, and circulate the water, and the fish give the yabbies what the fish give the plants what the plants need to survive. The plants give the fish what they need to survive, and they work in a natural state to grow and help each other. So what I've got so far on eBay, so as you probably guessed by now, I do like eBay. We don't have any local shops that sort of stock any of this stuff. Well, the local hardware store would, but I found this kit on eBay that I haven't even opened yet, so we'll discover all this together. But I went through Hearts Aquaponics, phone number there if you need more parts, but they make up a kit that includes everything you need to convert an IBC into an aquaponic setup. I should have found something better than a screwdriver to open the box with. Anyway. So in here is a range of things. After a discussion with the seller, he said he was going to chuck in a heap of these little short pieces of pipe that the yabbies can use to, shelter from other yabbies because they're cannibalistic. So that's cool, that's good of him. And this is the bell siphon. So if you're not familiar with the bell siphon, I encourage you to look up Bob's Aquaponics. He's got some good information there. But yeah, this has saved me having to source these parts individually and given me the ability now to easily convert this IBC into a, oh shit, look at this. Lots of information here. That's more than I thought. Some light reading, screws, more hardware. So have a look for Hearts Aquaponics. There's his phone number. Like I said, I just bought it on eBay. I've got no affiliation with anyone. Just trying to find a way to easily make an aquaponic setup for myself. So I'll take you guys on a journey with me. And this should be the pump, 3,000 litre, Chinese special, I assume. It's about 40 bucks on eBay, I think. Now I still need to get the hoses to go from the pump up to the grow bed. I'll get all the rest that I need locally at the local hardware store. Normally I buy everything from the local hardware store like this, but for that sort of stuff, like, why would you go down there and buy 1 foot length of this size and then 200 mil of that size and 100 mil of that size? It's not economical. You're better off in this situation to just buy the kit. Somebody's already gone to the effort of cutting the pipe and sourcing all the equipment. If you go to the hardware store and forget one thing, then it's a matter of going back there again. I think for a similar price of what I paid for that, you could have bought all the components individually. But I still think I'm better off just buying it all in one go like that, rather than mucking about. You might not agree, I don't really care. I'm not trying to sell anything here. And here's the 3,000 litre pump. And that will it'll pump the water up from the bottom of the fish or yabby pond, and it has a T where it can shoot water across the surface to help dissolve the oxygen into the water, and then the remainder of the water dribble up into the grow bed, fill the grow bed up. It'll all get a little bit more easier to see once things get set up, but there it is. That's all the gear. I still need to get the clay balls for the grow media, and then obviously the plants and the fish or yabbies, whatever I decide to go with for the animals in the bottom half. And then also try and find a spot somewhere here that's going to have good sunlight, away from pests, away from birds that might get in there and poach them, and somewhere close to power. So there we go. We've had a bit of a look through his instructions that came. I didn't realise it came with such detailed instructions, so I was going to cut this up a different way, but I'll do it the way that's described in these instructions now. And yeah, it's pretty well detailed and got lots of information. I think that's a good kit. So there's the bell siphon, bit of information, the inlet pipe, which is this one, so I don't have to find any more bits and pieces at the hardware to get this going, luckily. The pump comes with a 19mm 3/4 inch, which once I've determined that final height, I can trim that to size and fit that in there, because I'd like to get this pump slightly up off the bottom of the fish tank, just so that it's not picking up crap off the bottom as much. So I can probably go ahead and start, fucking wind. Probably go ahead and start cutting this IBC and getting it ready to go. This is just your ordinary general IBC, easy to find. These parts here, have a look on eBay. I think it's around $100 plus postage, $40 for the pump, and it's probably going to be a couple of $100, $250, $300, something like that for the clay. I haven't actually picked them up yet, but just from talking to people, that's about what they're worth, about $50 a bag. And I'll need around about 4 or 5 bags, so do the maths. But yeah, it should be a nice cheap way of growing our own food a little bit more sustainably, and teach the boys and a bit of a hobby. At this point here, the instruction says to discard the base. I've undone the bolts laid on its side, discard those plastic corner pieces. However, I'm going to keep it on the base, otherwise I won't be able to move it around. I'm a strong believer of using a forklift when I can and not use my back, so yeah. As said before, this isn't an instructional video, I'm just following old mate's instructions, so I believe you could detour a little bit from the instructions if it suits your application a bit better, so we'll see how it goes. I may have to discard it, but I can't see any reason why it has to be discarded. It's just going to make it a real prick to move later on. Just an update, let you know where we're up to at the moment. Like I said earlier, the plan's called for removing that base. I want to keep it so that I can forklift this around if I need to when it's full. Then we've got the top section here. It's got the original rails replaced. Top section is screwed in. I think I'm not sure if it's worth it. Cut a piece of poly pipe or garden hose and put it around the edge, but probably not. And the plan says nothing about this, but it says to cut the steel out, but doesn't say anything about cutting that out. I reckon it'd have to, wouldn't it? That way you can use a net to fish out the yabbies, fish, whatever. So, no, the instructions were really good. I followed them to a T, other than those couple of things I just mentioned. There's the drawing there. If you want to follow this design and do the same thing, I suggest emailing old mate. I have no affiliation with him, only bought the thing through eBay, sent him a few questions, he's replied straight away. Very helpful, very honest, obviously passionate about the industry or about the hobby, or not too sure. He says he's done it for over 20 years. And yeah, the products he supplied's really good, really informative. That's the way you want to be when you buy stuff on eBay, isn't it? So I'm up to this stage now of installing the bell siphon. So have to drill a hole saw. Sorry, use a hole saw to drill a hole to install the bell siphon, intake pipes, the pump, everything. The best tool I found, it's probably self-explanatory. The instruction on YouTube, people seem to use a jigsaw to cut the IBC. I've got this old girl. It's a metal cutting saw from Milwaukee, MSO1. Tungsten tooth blade on there. That does the best job, I reckon. I rate that. Pretty clean. A lot quicker than a jigsaw. As you see over here, I used it to cut the side out of those drums the other night for the shelving. Definitely worth getting one of these if you're going to do this job, I think, rather than muck around with a jigsaw or a reciprocating saw. So I'll continue now, put the bell siphon in and the pump intake, all this stuff up here. There she is, part one is done. Got the pump in there. So this valve here is to control dissolved oxygen, squirting water against the surface of the water. The other pipe obviously is the return from the bell siphon. I ended up cutting an access out there because I just figured it was going to be easier. Probably cut too much, but fuck it. There's only going to be sort of enough water down there anyway. I could put a patch or mesh or something around to fill those gaps if I worry about birds getting in. And I'll do that tonight. Put some Celastic around in there, some food grade translucent silicone, some Sikaflex, whatever. I'll put in there directly. That'll seal it overnight. And there's the bell siphon's in here. So by the time the water gets up to here, I guess that's about 180 odd mil. That's 150, so yeah, probably 170 mil, 180 mil of media. I don't know how much that'll be, maybe 200 litres. That will be good. So now the next step will be, like I said, seal that sand a bit up. The next bit would be to move this out into the yard somewhere where it's going to get good sunlight and where the chooks aren't going to get into it, and fill her up, let it do a few cycles, make sure that that valve is going to be at the right setting. And then next time we go to Adelaide, I'll have to get some clay balls or media, and then a trip out bush, grab some yabbies. Or fish, whatever I choose. I still don't know yet, but I'm got my heart set on yabbies. Love a good feed of yabbies, so we'll do that, I think. Plenty of room there. I found a location for the aquaponics setup in the corner of the backyard here. So there's the shed over there, the house. Dogs rubbish everywhere, but it's it doesn't look it, but it is level. Got spirit level there. I've got a slight lean or bias. The sun's right in the way there. A slight lean to the left, which is where the bell siphon is, but when I've got a bit of weight in it, it might settle. Just put some timber under one side there. That should be a good spot because it will get the sun most of the day. And That shouldn't look too bad there, I think, hopefully. So the next step is to fill her up, get some water into it, and I have to drive to Adelaide. I can't find anywhere closer to get some grey media. Clay balls, so it's 200 odd K trip each way just to get 200 kilos worth of that, so it won't be happening anytime soon. Now, one thing I've noticed about trying to find some clay balls for this aquaponics setup, no one stocks them. You got to go to bloody Adelaide to a hydroponics shop. So I've just come down Adelaide here today. I've never been in a hydroponics shop. I don't know what to find, but hopefully they can help me out. And I'm sure they haven't. I'm sure that they've dealt with aquaponic setups and things enough in the past. So I'll go in and grab some. Yeah, after yesterday I got the clay balls home now. I've got 250 litres. It's more than I'll need, I hope. I'm going to make another system for other people, I'm sure, so the leftover clay balls will be a good use. Got these for $40 per 50 kilos. I didn't really shop around, just went to the nearest hydroponic store while I was in Adelaide, so I'll put these in. I'll have to wash them apparently, there's a bit of dust on them, so I'll fill up a little trolley full of water and put these in there. Just give them a quick rinse, get the dust off them, and then I'll go into the aquaponic system. I've got this little wheelbarrow full of water to wash the dust off, as it's been recommended to wash the dust off the balls because they rub together in the bags, and just using a dog bowl to transfer them into here. And I've added this other extra pipe here. It's got slots in the bottom. I reckon I'll shove that, fill that up full of shade cloth and act as another bloody bio filter, so that once the fish and the abbies and stuff start producing their waste, it comes up here, and it'll just be another extra filter before it gets out into the grow bed. So worth a shot. Not gonna lose anything by doing it, am I? So this is the first bag. I don't know how many bags it will take, so we'll find out as I go. So it's just a matter of getting the dust out of it, give it a quick little rinse, and then drop them straight in. And we've got 150 litres in there, rinsed out from the wheelbarrow, and it's just circulating now. So I was going to put the fourth one in, but I reckon I'll leave it for the minute and let these settle because they're actually still floating. Well, that water's going down now. But as that settles, I'll find the level. So I've got 25 mil above the high tide mark. But yeah, I'll give these a couple of days to soak before putting the fourth bag in. There she's circulating beautifully. I've got the return line to aerate the water, if you can hear me. And that's the bottom of the bell siphon going down as well. There's not a hell of a lot of water in there, but should be alright. I'm starting to bow a bit from the weight, I've noticed, but hopefully it doesn't bow much more. When I put the pipe onto the pump, I put it just off the ground level so that it can allow for the weight of that to push down, so it doesn't push the pump into the bottom of the sump. Look at that view. Beautiful sunset tonight. I'll let that circulate now for a few days, I suppose. Let those balls soak in. Another bag there, so and I'll start introducing some fish food in the bottoms to start the process, I guess. And then we'll put some veggies in. And I want to build a loop, like a hoop over the top, so the birds and chooks don't get into it. But look at that sunset. Very dry here, but love it. And yeah, not much to update. So I guess I'll put another video out when I do the next round of things. Stay tuned. Home built aquaponics setup. And I want to put yabbies in the bottom, to be honest, so we'll see how that goes. I've been told they don't go too well in aquaponic systems. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.